There. Welcome to the Bob and Tam Show today. Where are we at? We're in our shop. We're going to show you some of the great posters that I've already gotten, some of the banners right here. We're looking at Chopper Time Tropical Tattoo, one of the best bike shows there is. There's Rush. We also got us a banner here from Black Hills Harley Davidson. They kind of brought it out, gave us one before we left. And of course, here's Dakota Digital Gauges. One of my banners here that I want to say a little bit about is you all know we go to Daytona, and we've been going there for a while now. We actually got a banner from Bruce Rossmeyer. It was the last banner that Shelley Rossmeyer had, and she gave it to us. It was a great honor. There's another one of our Chopper Time shows for the vets to help support the vets. And also, here's one of you may have already seen this one before, but it's our 75 days of celebration of the 75th anniversary of Sturgis. Who else? Indian Motorcycles in Sturgis. So let me spin around here a little bit, and we're going to show you some of my beer ones. And I know some people might be a little upset because it's Budweiser, but we'll talk about that a little bit tonight too about Budweiser. So let me get around the garage here. So for the last couple years, I've got banners. So there's my 82nd. There's the one for the 83rd. I have one of our subscribers. Here's our 81st here. One of our subscribers had in his collection a banner. I now have a 50th anniversary of Sturgis banner. So this one's had some life going through it. It's been around for a while. And one of my thoughts are going to be is, do you think I should restore it by having it maybe retouched up, painted, or keep it the original that it is from all these years? So this is a 50th where Miller was a big sponsor back then. So we have some other banners here. Here's another Budweiser welcoming people out. Here's a Twisted Tea that we had last year when we were in Sturgis, had our meet and greet at Kathmandu. Here's the oil, which has changed now. Speeds had this oil, and they're no longer selling this anymore, so we may have to change our banner. There's another one of our signs that welcomes to Bob and Tam's meet and greet. And that's about the most of our banners right now. I have a bunch of flags yet to put up that I do not have up yet. So let's move around here, and we're going to go into our new shop. So some of you have already seen the thumbnail, and somebody already made the comment about the Beaver Bar. Well, we got a great honor. The banner that you see there, the Beaver Bar, it is 10 years old. We got that from the owner of the Beaver Bar because in Sturgis, they're no longer going to be there. They didn't renew the lease, so she's going to move on. So here's our new shop here. This is where our studio is going to be. We're going to start doing our veteran bikes and stuff in here. So we're going to walk in here and check all this out. Ta-da! So we're inside. It's air conditioned. That's why the rest of the shop here was about 95 out there. So we're going to go through a few of our signs that I've gotten. This helmet that you're looking at right here is actually signed by all the people that are involved with the Sons of Speed, that vintage motorcycle racing they have in Daytona. The sign there that you see, this was signed by Scott Jacobs, which is the only licensed person to sign or to take photos for things for Harley Davidson, which is pretty neat. We got an Indian sign, got some gas tanks. I got a couple of Sturgis with the girls from Sturgis that were the models, that the poster girls. So we've got the last, I've actually got another one we found at home. So I've got 20, 21, 22, and 23. These are some pictures that I've taken here. There's Tam with her meeting Willie. We've got some more signs here. So on this side here, this is my signs I was telling you about that are very priceless. I can't sell any of these. These are all hamster pictures that I took during that breakfast that they had over there at for the museum. And we also have some legends. The one over to our left over here is from 2021 when we rode in it. This one's 2023. I got all the signatures of everybody that was there. On a special there. So we'll look around here. There's my favorite picture. That's our picture of the bike in front of the original factory that Harley Davidson had in Wisconsin. There's a sign there from Daytona in 2021. The framers put it on backwards, so I can't hang it. And of course, you can't have a garage and to be involved with motorcycles if you don't have a picture from Easy Rider. I got another picture up there of a chopper. I have no idea where I got that at. And one other priceless picture. I got these next 3 pictures I'm going to show you, this one and the next 2, that I got from the Parsons Museum. Who else but to have Elvis? And the last one that I want to show you is from the motorcycle racing on the beach in Daytona Beach in 1955. That's priceless to have that. I also got a poster here from Willie's from the Chopper Time show from 2021. I got to find where my rest of are. We got a couple other unique things that I've gotten that I collected with photos. You might be looking at this one here. This is a bike that we showed you last year at Mecum. It was owned by Brian Johnson, right? His last name Johnson of AC/DC, the singer. This was his bike. That's his original signature on the gas tank. I have another one here that was a reproduction man bike, David Mann bike that was there that they auctioned off. That this signature here was actually certified that it was written by David Mann. So that's kind of special. And my last favorite banner that I have right now so far is one that we also got from Willie's Tropical Chopper Time show. This was actually a brand new banner he just got, and he gave it to us. So it was a real great honor that Willie stepped up and he gave this. And he said, once we start doing our veteran bikes, he wants to come out to the shop. So we're going to switch cameras around here. So let me turn this microphone off. Here we go. So can you hear us? Can you hear me now? So, hey, we're also dedicating this video today to Jimmy Buffett. We have seen Jimmy Buffett several times over the years. And if you know anything about Jimmy Buffett, hopefully, I don't know if your town had the fun that we had when we lived in California, but in Irvine, California, we had a location. It was at the Irvine, I don't know what the hell they call that thing. Is it an amphitheater?
I guess that Irvine.
And it's not there anymore. They made apartments into it. But what they would do is they would open it at noon. And it would be just crazy. Big, big swimming pools. They brought sand in them, palm trees, drinks, all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm going to have to find the pictures. That'd be great for a Patreon video, is to see some of those. I know Michael's got some pictures because he was there with us that year. So I'll have to get with Michael and have him get with us and go to it. You got to use this one if you want to put your comments up.
No, I've been.
So we're in the new shop. We got to stay a little quiet. I still got some echo going on in here. And so hopefully it won't be too bad.
There's a whole story behind that.
And so we're pretty much done inside here other than adjusting for the echo. We're going to bring a couch in here next day or so. If that don't work, I may have to hang some blankets up when we're doing videos and things like that to stop it from getting too much echo.
Putting up some of the
signs that the canvas ones would take it. We had a rug that we bought off of Amazon. Make sure if you buy a rug off of Amazon, you really look at it. And because some of the stuff I got ended up being like, it was like a, I don't know what you want to call that material, but it's almost like a coat would be made out of that, a woman's coat.
It was like almost like crushed velvet. That's what I would explain it as. Because if you moved it one way, the pile all went and it turned white. And you moved it the other way and it turned black. But it was real fuzzy. If you stepped on it, you'd burn it. It was not a rug. You could
more like a blanket.
You could throw it up. Yeah, you could use it as a blanket. You could put it up as hanging it on the wall. Put it over a couch for a throw, but it was not a rug.
The bottom underneath was like a rug. It was hard. It was like a mat type of carpeting. So it wasn't like something you could hang on a wall. I mean, I didn't want to pay $189 for this thing, and the guy didn't want to give us the money back from Amazon, so we called and complained. So, well, I got to send it back to Turkey or wherever the hell the guy was from. Found out the shipping label. I looked at it. Where's it going?
Massachusetts.
So it's really going to Turkey, ain't it? I was just trying to screw us. But we were supposed to get a full refund on that. We got to put it in the mail on Tuesday and get that back to them. And we're going to go to Harley and just get a rug from Harley.
I didn't see you earlier.
So what's going on today? We got a bunch of stuff. I don't know, where's my phone? Oh, here's my phone here. I got a bunch of stuff we're going to talk about tonight. And close that.
So poor Neil, it's up there raining again, but he's on. He said for a minute.
There you go. So what's going on? We've been really busting our butt to get all this done. We actually got all the signs and everything hung up this morning. She mopped the floor. I think got most of the white stuff off the floor. So we got a
green spots.
Yeah. So pretty much overall, we're pretty much done in here, other than getting the sound right. And so that'll be something that we'll be working on. But when we get out here and show you the banners, most of the banners we just put up temporary. These are going to stay where they're
Marcus
at.
is on too.
But the ones out there in the shop, I just stapled those up because we still got to pull all that off the drywall. We're going to paint it. We're not going to mud all that. We're going to do the screws. That's it. Watch the table here shaking. It's moving.
All right.
And so you just got to take your arms off if you want to cough. So that's pretty exciting. So here's where we are at. So what did people think about the shop? Did they make any comments?
Yeah, they're saying they're liking it. A lot of people.
And I didn't show you all the mess in the middle of the shop. We kind of moved everything away from the wall. And so you didn't see the big mess yet. We still got a lot of things to finish up and move. We got to finish the bathroom.
We need the garage to put all of the junk in now.
Yeah. Need a storage trailer. Something like that to store that all in. So pretty exciting. I'm going to talk a little bit. I showed you the Budweiser signs. I don't know if anybody had a big fit about Budweiser or not. But what you got to think about, and I've had a couple of you have emailed me and commented on this also, that you got to look at these motorcycle rallies. There is nobody anywhere in the United States that is spending the money that Anheuser-Busch is spending at the rallies. You know, that's great. Nobody wanted to go see their booth. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But you got to think about this. And they're like, oh, if they leave, somebody else is going to pick it up. Who's got that kind of money that wants to even invest in motorcycles anymore? You know, most of these people don't even want us anymore. Look at Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is getting to be a real mess now. Now we don't have Barefoot Landing, the big vendors. We're actually heard from a couple more vendors this week that's it. No more vendors there at all. So they're just pushing more of the stuff out of Myrtle Beach. So who knows? Look at Daytona, same thing there. They've been pushing people out for years. For the last 10 years, they've been pushing people out. As soon as the Indian dealer moves out to their new location and the BMW and the Triumph dealer, as soon as they're moved out, there's nobody left on that back street other than Midwest Cycles. That's it. That's the last motorcycle shop that will be on Beach Road. Is that what it is? Beach Boulevard or Beach
Boulevard.
Road? Beach Boulevard.
I don't know. Somebody said the mic wasn't working. Unless you're thinking mine, because I'm not really talking. He told me to be quiet.
No, I said, don't shake the table. I said, if you talk quiet. So we're not so loud or we're bouncing off the walls. So that was one of the things I wanted to say, just a little bit about Budweiser. You know, they've definitely learned a lesson about Bud Light. And you know, hey, if you never drink a Bud Light again, it doesn't hurt my feelings either way. But you just got to think about this in the future. Let's say something happened with Budweiser. You know, that they decided that their funds have gone away and maybe they're not going to sponsor motorcycle rallies anymore. That maybe next year they'll say, sorry, it's not on our budget anymore. How do you think that's going to affect our rallies? I can tell you definitely you're not going to see the name acts that you see now. Progressive has stepped up right now and they're doing some of the venues. But Progressive has only signed a contract for so many years, just like Geico did. Geico used to do it, they're gone. Now we got Progressive. They're all thinking they're in it for the next probably 2 or 3 more years, and then they'll be gone. I'm thinking about the 85th when they have it. So we're at the 83rd now. So 2 more years, Sturgis Progressive will probably step out. And so if you don't have Budweiser, you know, you look at that, we got a Twisted Tea. Well, how much money do you think Twisted Tea invests into the rallies? Probably not a whole lot. So you don't really you see some Coors Light, but you don't see the banners that you see. But you might think, oh, they just put banners up. No, they're also giving money to the promoters they're putting on, like the Buffalo Chip. They get money from Budweiser. Who do you think pays for those concerts? A lot of these concerts, there's not enough people in the venue to justify, you know, some of these concerts, which, like I said, I heard Kid Rock was 120,000, 130,000, but somebody else had told us we've heard as much as $300,000 that they charge. Well, there's no way you could afford to be having headliners that are charging that kind of money if you didn't have sponsors paying for it. You got to realize everybody that's there is the vendors that are there, they're sponsors. Those people that are giving away free drinks, free shots, all those people, those were all sponsors that are there trying to promote their products and things like that. When Triumph was out there, they had Triumph truck out there. Was that the only truck that was out there, Triumph? No, they had Livewire. Anybody get a ride on a Livewire?
I don't know. I didn't see any. Oh,
there was people giving me rides.
Hmm.
I seen the trailer out there, but I never did see bikes going around. I seen the Triumph bikes that people were riding.
I got a wild hair sticking up. So you have one vote to keep the 50th banner
Original.
Yeah, there you go. And they had the pig roast. I saw that. One day of sunshine. It was just for the pig roast. How about that? And you should have went moose hunting. Which was today. My runaway looks like a river moved in. Oh my goodness. You took that rain with you, which I don't know. We've been getting a lot of rain here in Arizona too.
Yeah, flooded. Vegas fed floods. We didn't get the rain that Vegas got.
No.
But they got about see what happens is we call those monsoons out here. And what can happen is Neil would have a heart attack when telling this. We could end up with 3 to 5 inches of rain in about 30 minutes, maybe 45 at the tops. And that's when you see the flooding. Where we're at in Arizona, we don't really get the flooding like you get in Vegas. Vegas has got too many low-lying things, especially the parts of the strip kind of dip down and you get down to where you're really low.
And I'm sure there's some parts of Arizona that do get flooded because out there in
well, they showed
Phoenix
that
and all that.
the what's the highway? What's the highway there in Phoenix that got flooded?
That was I-17.
So the I-17, it got flooded, and they closed part of that down for a while. So they get it over there, but
Keep
here
your banner
where we're
original.
at, we don't really get the flooding that we get. Some of our streets, but within 5 minutes, the water it's gone. So it doesn't really hang around here like you see in Vegas and stuff.
The Vanderhalls, yeah. We've ridden those. Those were out when we rode them. They were in Deadwood, I guess, weren't they? Oh, it was a three-wheel rally. That's where we rode them at. Stephen Sample says Death Valley got hit again. Yeah, and up in Burning Man, I guess I heard up there they've got a lot of water and some people are stuck up there. Kevin's on. He says 11. Was it Highway 11 that flooded too? Is there a Highway 11 out there?
11 is the route into Vegas. That's the
Oh, that's right.
93, 95, and that is from like 20 miles north of Kingman. It's designated as Interstate 11.
Okay. Did
And
that
we
get
do
flooded?
get flooding in the dip that comes off the new dam bridge that comes
Mm.
down into Railroad Center.
Oh, I found out something today that you don't know.
What?
Out in Sturgis, out there between Deadwood and Lead, is somebody's taking over Louis.
Oh, how about that? That's
Yep.
cool.
So a
They're
new
gonna
owner.
keep it elite.
Yep, they're going
They
to
still
keep.
got the beer bottle.
They're
cans
going to
up
keep
there.
everything exactly the same. So this is actually catty corner from the Boar's Nest. There used to be a bar there that's been closed the last 2 years. It was called Lewis. Lewis's. I think it was
They
just.
called it Louis.
Did they call it Louis?
Yes, it's just spelled different than Uncle Louis downtown.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of people got confused. They thought it was Uncle Louis that was going out of business, but it was this. And what happened is this guy he had it for 35 years, and it just got to where it was just too much. And so he got out, and there's a young gentleman that decided he'd like to get into it, and they're going to let him just do turnkey. They're going to give him all the recipes. They're going to keep everything exactly the same as it's always been. So it's been pretty neat. We'll have to stop by there next year. He'll be open next spring, and but he had a picture on the internet that I got. You can see him or not. There he is. So they're standing in front of the bar. It's not very good focused, but
So our friend that's here is Mike and Patsy, the ones that got married out in Sturgis. So that's who we've been talking to. They said, why not put your friends on camera?
they will in a little bit. Let's see what else I got. I got some more information going on.
I heard.
So talk a little bit about Bikes, Blues and BBQ, the Pig Trail. They're actually going to have a beer garden, live music, vendor mall, and a food court. All that is going to be at Exit 86 between 20th and the 23rd of September, and we'll be there. That's in Rogers, Arkansas. So that was something that came up. Also at Bikes, Blues and BBQ, they have at the convention center, they're going to have the vendor mall that's going to have audio, LEDs, leathers, food, clothing, and more. The HD Harley Davidson demo truck's going to be there. We're going to have to call Pig Trail and see if they're not going to have the truck at theirs. I didn't think they'd have two. So it might be the truck is going to be over at the convention center, not at
The Harley Davidson
Yes.
dealership.
And that's going to be at 3303 South Pinnacle Hills Parkway in Rogers. So that's an vendor mall. I had that. What else did I have going on here? They do have a legacy ride that they're going to have for kids. All the money goes to All Kids Bike with special guest Rusty Wallace, NASCAR Hall of Famer Steve Wallace is going to be there, and Southern Country Customs. That's going to be on Friday, September 22nd at 9:30 a.m. We'll be there at that. So we'll be checking that out at Bikes, Blues and BBQ. So put that on your calendar if you're coming to Bikes, Blues and BBQ. Friday, September 22nd at Pig Trail Harley. They're going to have the ride that's going to be for all kids bikes. And so that route's going to go down the Pig Trail, Harley Davidson, with a scenic ride around Beaver Lake, food, refreshments to follow, and all that. Right now, the cost, if you want to be involved in it, they're only allowing 100 motorcycles, and it's $100 a person to check that out. So we'll be there. Another thing I wanted to announce that in Rogers, they are going to close some of the streets on downtown. And that was one of the biggest complaints last year with Rogers was they won't close any streets down. Well, this is their first year. These people had no idea what they were doing. So give them a break, check this out. So they're only going to have bike only traffic on South First Street between Walnut and Popular Street. And that's in Rogers. That's going to be on the 21st to the 23rd. So on Thursday, it'll be from 5 in the afternoon till 11 at night. Friday will be 5 till 11. And then on Saturdays, it's 12 noon till 11. The streets will be all closed down. So there'll be, vendors and all kinds of neat stuff there. So that's kind of neat. I like that they are doing that. Let's see, is there anything else? I think that might be all my announcements that I had for things going on. We'll be getting with Bikes, Blues, and BBQ over there at Eureka Springs. We'll be getting with Jeff this week coming up because he told us to get a hold of him about a week before it started and get some information about what's going on. We'll give you some more ideas of all the things, which we didn't know. We didn't realize that besides over at Flathead, not Vendor Park, Flathead.
Rally Point.
Yeah, that's it. Flathead Rally Point. It's got a lot of things going on. We talked about that. They're going to have some great bands going on there. They're going to have some hill
You'll
climbing.
have to watch the beginning of this video. Wants to know how the garage is coming along.
Yep, yeah, I'll look at that. So
We're in
we've
the
got,
shop right now.
they're going to have t-shirt on, all kinds of events going on there. So you want to check that out. You don't have to stay there to go there, but you do have to buy a pass to get in. So that's there. Down in Eureka Springs, they got all kinds of vendors that are going to be up and down the streets. The Cat House, we're going to be down there at the Cat House. We're going to be doing a live from there. We'll also be doing a meet and greet down at the Cat House. We'll have one at the Cat House, and we'll have one over at Pig Trail Harley during that week. So we'll let you know as we get to that week what day we'll be at which place.
Yeah, somebody was just asking where we were going to be while we're there. Or you can also, banners, email us. Where's it at? Right there. And we can swap information and we'll get hooked up somehow or another, let you know where we're at and where we're going to be.
Sure.
So I'm also talking softly because I'm losing my voice again.
Sounds like it. So lots of things going on. So we'll know a little bit more when we land there. We get there on Sunday before Bikes, Blues, and BBQ. So first off, we'll be in Ocean City. So Ocean City, we get there on Wednesday. And so we'll be in Ocean City sometime Wednesday afternoon. Or do we get there on Tuesday? We get there on Wednesday? We fly in on Wednesday?
Flying on Wednesday.
So we'll drive in, get there, get all set up, and then we'll let you guys know where we're at. And we're going to be real close to the convention center. So we're probably going to have a meet and greet down at the convention center once we see who's all going to be there. It might be at Brick Rack. It might be at Zero. We'll have to see who we're going to do meet and greet at. And you guys can check us out down there. And we'll have a couple of them there. We're still waiting to get a hold of our promoter that's putting on the concerts and all that, because we'd like to do something there with them. But I was supposed to talk to him last Monday, but he never called us. He's very busy.
Nice.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get with him before
Switchback bar.
get all that going on.
Where's that?
The Switchback Bar,
Is that in Ocean City?
yeah, I don't know if that's the one that has the charges to get in.
No, that's Secrets.
No. His Bike Resort is awesome place. Okay, we'll have to check it out. I've looked up some things. I know there's
George
a
told
couple.
us a whole bunch of stuff. They don't like, I guess they're in competition. There's Del Mar, VA Bike Week. Oh, was that in Virginia then? VA? They can coincide at the same time, along with the inlet concerts versus Salisbury Stadium vendors. Everything's going on at the same time. Well, you'll have to let us know, George, when we get there. because we don't know anything about it.
No.
I don't know that again, I know. Losing my voice. There's a truck stop called Hillbilly Haven on the north edge of Pigtail Route on Highway 40. Great food and bike destination. Is that south of Fayetteville?
No, that's on the north end of the Pig Trail Highway, that park, that once you go through Lake of the Ozarks on the Pig Trail, it crosses over I-40. And right there is that truck stop. So if you're gonna ride the whole Pig Trail during your rally, it's got great food, low gas prices, and it caters to bikes. It loves bikes in there. So if you're gonna ride the whole Pig Trail while you're doing Bikes, Blues and BBQ, it's a great destination.
Yes, when we were there last time, we didn't ride the whole way. Didn't we? Just went to that one
Yeah.
store, and I think we turned around and came back.
The Pigtail's a very interesting ride. It's not a technical ride, but it's narrow and scenic.
Yeah.
And
Well, we rode it, but we only
Half of
went
it.
down to, there's like a general store that's halfway down there. We stopped at the general store and then turned around and came back.
okay.
So we've been there. We've also been at they have the hideout out there. The girl that
The
runs that,
highway.
hide something. We've been out there and checked that out last time we were there. I'm working on a video to kind of show you a highlight of what ended up happening, which I don't know what happened at that time. All of our footage of riding the bikes is just really jerky and steady. I don't know if the steady cam wasn't set on. I don't know what really happened. I got a little video and we're going to talk behind it. And we'll talk a little bit about what we know about Bikes, Blues, and BBQ. We're going to be doing a live soon with the Badgers in the next week or so, and with them. And we're going to be talking about, because they've done a lot more stuff in Eureka Springs. They're not so familiar with Fayetteville, which Fayetteville really doesn't have anything going on anymore. It's basically just Rogers, Eureka Springs, and then what's the other one? Bonneville.
Oh, yeah, I know I forget the name of the town, but it's the one that's the closest to the actual lake.
Yeah.
'Cause you got Rogers, and then Eureka, and then you got
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
Bonneville, but it's not
Yeah.
Bonneville.
So that's another place that a lot of people go to. And we've never checked that out. We've got some rides we're going to be doing if people are
Well, they
interested.
told us a lot of cool places to go to. There's some sort of bridge, I think, and
Yeah.
then there's a castle. And our intentions were to go there, but we never made it. So now
This
that
year
we
we're going
did,
to go. We're also going to go to, there's some waterfalls to check out. So we're going to be checking that out
and
too.
it's
So
Bentonville.
yeah.
Thank you, Mama. Mama says, I guess his real name is Willie because he says you got my poster up behind you. He said that's his real name, Willie Oatman.
Oatman. That's out
Where
here.
the donkeys are.
Yeah. We have Oatman. If we ever do, which we're going to see after this year, we'll reevaluate
2024.
our rallies after 2024. So next year we got our rallies set down that we're going to be doing. We'll do our spring rallies again. And then after Myrtle Beach, we'll decide what we're going to do after that. We're definitely going to do Sturgis next year. And for the 84th and the 85th, we'll be at Sturgis. We're going to be announcing next week, actually this week, after probably Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll let you guys know where we're staying and what you have to do if you want to get involved in Sturgis. If you want to get a cabin, if you want a tent camp, if you want to bring an RV, if you want to dry camp, if you want some hookups, we'll give you all that good information about where we're going to be and what's going to happen. So a little different. This year just did not go as well as we thought at the Buffalo Chip. You know, some of it was the rain kind of screwed a lot of things up, but also the chip just did not. It was just like cats and dogs there trying to get something. That's with the staff, not the people that are there.
Yeah.
It was the staff just trying to deal with everybody that we're stepping back. We thought a lot of things. Rod really wants us to get really involved and help him and do all this, but now the ball's in his court. He's got to make that decision. If not, we spent way too much money. We bought a bunch of banners I put up. Two of them we didn't even get to be able to put up. And then I rented the camera that I didn't end up needing. So we ended up making half of what we should have made. So it just wasn't a very good rally for us. And we missed a lot of stuff that was going on everywhere else that I wish we had. And the chip just didn't turn out like we thought it would. And, live and learn.
Stephen Sample says he was at Glencoe this year. He thinks he'll go somewhere else next year.
And it is. Sometimes it's nice just to go someplace like that and say, okay, hey, I've been there, done that. Ocean City's going to be like that. I think Ocean City's going to be one of these things that I'm going to be glad that I went. I'll probably never go back again. And it's kind of like a lot of these rallies. Laconia, I had my Laconia shirt on a while ago. See, I didn't even go to Laconia But I got a shirt from Laconia. See, people take care of us.
Kenny.
I'm not supposed to give out my secrets. Laconia. Laconia. It's probably backwards on the camera.
No, that's right. You didn't shave the back of your shirt either.
Oh.
There you go.
This is my salute to Jimmy Buffett. We went back in 2006. We went a couple of times. We seen him, like I said, we talked about it. We seen him a couple of times in California, and that was the best. We went a couple of times at MGM in Las Vegas. What a mess that was. They didn't have the pre-party. They had it at the
They
Flamingo.
did. It was at the pool, and it wasn't the same.
It was nothing. It was a waste of time of going to the pre-party.
It was nothing. If you've been to the one we went to, nothing can compare.
You know, and they can bring in dump trucks of sand. These are people that are doing this. Palm trees, alcohol. Everybody's friendly, crazy. It was just, that's what, nothing wrong. I'm a Jimmy Buffett fan. But we started listening to some of his live stuff when we had Sirius Radio.
They had a Jimmy Buffett.
And it was like, oh my
radio station.
gosh, he is so far out of tune. It's ridiculous. Well, the problem is, not really the problem, but you go to these events like we did, you started drinking at noon, you know, you go to the concert at whatever,
7
8
or
or
8.
9, yeah, whatever time it starts, you're already pretty well plowed. You know, you don't
You don't care what he sounded like. Everyone's just singing along.
That's right. You're just having a great time. And it was.
And you know, he always sang barefoot. He never wore shoes when he sang.
And
At least none of the concerts we went to.
yeah, and it's pretty neat. We really enjoyed it. Sorry that he's gone. But we listened to some Jimmy Buffett before the show here. We were listening to some music and stuff, and I got some CDs and stuff from Jimmy Buffett. I was never a big parrot head.
Wouldn't consider us that.
Yeah, we probably didn't really start listening to him until we got into doing DJing. Actually, one of them, we were in St. Louis, one of the bars I was working at. They were going to a Jimmy Buffett concert, and they were saying they were parrot heads. I'm like, what the hell's a parrot head? What are you talking about? And then once we moved to California, and then you kind of figured it out. And yeah, I got a hat someplace that's a parrot.
We did karaoke, and this was the guy that always came in and sang Jimmy Buffett songs, and he did really good. He sang Pencil Thin Mustache and the ones you don't normally hear all the time. It wasn't Margaritaville and Changes in Latitudes and all those, Cheeseburger in Paradise. He'd sing the other ones. So that's how I learned a lot of other songs from him doing karaoke.
And it was really great. And like I say, I'm really sorry he died. And this is one of the things I always talk about. You know, life is short. And people go, why do you do what you do? Well, this is part of it. It's I want to be able to do stuff that I don't want to be that I'm gone and well, I'm gone. I can't think about it, but that I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. You know, I would have never dreamed in my whole entire life that last year we would have hit all four corners of the United States. I would have just never thought that we could have ever done that. We're down to probably by next year, we'll probably hit every state in the United States. We've in 2-year time or 3-year time, we'll have hit every state in the United States. And, you know, to say that and
The continental United States, the 48.
we still need to do what we're not going to Alaska, Neil, but we will go to Hawaii soon because most of you probably know we just celebrated our 44th anniversary. Holy crap. And I got to take her before her 50th because we were supposed to do it before our 25th, I think, or 30th. I don't know.
We were going to do 25th, didn't happen. We're going to do 30th, didn't happen. We're going to do 35th, didn't happen. We're going to do 40th, didn't happen.
Now that Hawaii's burning up, so I don't know.
I'm not holding my
I'm not
breath.
sure. We'll eventually make it to Hawaii, and
That's what he
so
says.
we'll see how that all works. 45.
That's what he says.
Mike
I
says.
said, I'm not holding my breath.
And so we have to just see, because the schedule that we do with motorcycle stuff, it ties a lot of our time up because we're going to pull out of here next year in February already. And we won't be back till, when's Myrtle Beach over?
The middle of
May.
May.
So it won't be till the 3rd or 4th week of May before we finally get home. So February, March, April, and May, we're
We have to
gone.
make a stop on the way. home.
And so we stop for all of that, and then we'll come back home, recuperate, and then get ready for Sturgis. Next year, we are getting to Sturgis really, really early. We're going to be there for sure no later than June 24th. Once again, I said June 24th. And then if all goes well, we may even be there 2 weeks before that, depending on our campground out in Rapid City, because I want to go back to what we used to do is we would spend a couple weeks in Rapid City and do all the great rides that are out there. You know, this is the first year ever that I didn't go through the Custer Loop.
Yep.
I have never missed that. We've always seen the bisons up close and personal.
this was the year to do it too, because the bison were out pretty much
We see them all the time we go.
the whole rally.
And so we didn't make it over there. And just because of time limit, what we're doing with the buffalo chip and things just, like I say, but we did get to do some great things this year. You know, if you go back and watch the video on the museum, that was just priceless. I had no idea when I showed you, if you watch the beginning of the video, go back and watch it later, that I show you the hamster signs, the pictures of and stuff. It's just motorcycles that were in the parking lot were bikes that you'll never see at a club show. I've never seen any of these bikes. And to see these bike builders, these custom guys, you know, some of these people was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe who they are. And I did meet, I should have printed the picture up. I did meet Sugar Bear, and he makes the big front ends and he does choppers and stuff. And he almost went out of business years ago, but he got back now, and actually he's out by Sturgis. I thought he was still in California, but he's out in Sturgis area now. So we're gonna have to check him out next year and meet with him.
I just have to put a side note on this. He said to put palm trees in the shop and look around you, and you'll have your Hawaiian vacation. My whole house used to be palm trees. My
Plates
kitchen,
and all.
yes, everything. So I did have palm trees for quite a while.
Well, we lived in California for a while.
Yeah.
For 17 years, we lived in California. So it's almost kind of like, you know.
Blue Ghost says, did you hear about the Harley recall on rear shock mounts breaking?
Yes. Was it 2018s and up, I think is what the years were.
2018 through 2023, all the soft tail models, the ultra lows, the
Wow, this is a
the
15.
heritages, and the deluxes.
And you know, things can happen, and people go, "Oh, look, their junk's falling apart." You know, one of the things is you have to find out, you know, what happens to it. You know, if it's a recall that Harley decided that they wanted to do it, or was it was there a bunch of accidents and that's why they had it, or did they figure out something was going wrong with how it happened? You know, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. And I've been reading some of the stuff on it. I didn't remember exactly what bikes it was, but I knew it wasn't my bike. And so, but I mean, things go wrong. Things are man-made and things will break. And the difference is when you have, you know, compared to Harley Davidson, compared to even to Indian, Harley sells a lot more motorcycles than what Indian sells or what Honda sells or things like that. When you start looking at those numbers of what the sales are, and I'm talking like in the United States, not worldwide, you're going to see that you're going to have more problem with it. It's kind of like we have an ATC trailer now. You know, it's all aluminum trailer. Well, when we first started buying them, they've been around a long time. But now I'm seeing more and more people having problems with the units. And I think a lot of that has to do with they're selling a lot more of them now. So there's more of them out on the road. People are seeing more problems with it. Like ours has probably have been pulled, I don't know, we probably got 50,000 miles or more on our RV. And nothing really has gone wrong with it other than tires. But that happens on all the vehicles.
Oh, we had to get batteries.
It was the top end mounts to the shock absorbers that were coming loose off the bike where the shock comes in. Those mounts were breaking on the bike, causing the shock to fall into the tire on one side.
So was it where it bolts up to it's falling off?
Yes. And they're saying that it was a supply issue malfunction in the original manufacturing of the parts.
And it is, like I say, things are man-made and things can go wrong. A bad weld, you know, they might have had whatever they were getting for the weld, and to weld it on there was a poor metal. And, you know, like I say, hopefully nobody will die from it. I don't know if anybody's died from it.
COVID, no. 18, it didn't start till 20. Anyway, Tam says her two wheels rode the live wire.
Oh, did she?
Was that during because they had live wires down at the adventure bike week too. I don't know if it was then or was it up there when it was up at the Crossroads area. I don't know which. But
I never really got to meet her. She never came around, and a couple times I seen her, she kind of was always going the opposite way. So
she was always busy. She always had a lot of people around her.
So we never really got a chance to chat with her or say anything. I think I said a couple words to her, but other than that, that's it. I don't know if she realized who we were. Or I'm not a big follower of hers. I don't really know much about her. She's about the same size as, not YouTube wise, as like Adam Sandoval is. I think she's around 160,000 or something, 170,000, something like Adam Sandoval is. Caught up?
Yep.
Okay.
That's my last one.
So
how many Facebook pages do you have this on? Because I'm still getting Facebook people I'm on two different Facebook users. And
Okay, so we're on the Pating one right now,
I got that one.
and we're on our regular
I got
Bob and Tam's. It is not on the Sturgis page.
I don't know, because there's people that's coming up here that are not on either one of these two.
Yeah, we're not on the Sturgis page. Shouldn't
Because
be.
we're not talking about Sturgis.
Yeah.
A
So
little bit. But
some
not
people
all.
are putting some stuff on my page, and I'm kind of being all right with it. But we'll see how it all goes. Right now, it's kind of quiet. Sturgis is kind of quiet. And we'll start talking about Sturgis as soon as we get done with these next two rallies, because you need to start thinking about it. If you're thinking about coming to the 84th, you need to start thinking now, where do you want to stay? Because if you want some hookups and full hookups, even if you want some full hookups, you know, if you got a sewer you want to hook up to, or electric and water, you want to start thinking about that now. You really want to start, like for instance, kickstands. I think last time I heard they had only had about 4 more spots, full hookups left, and they'd be sold out, which I don't know how many they have to start with. I mean, if they only have 50, it's not very many, but I mean, I don't know. Joey and them, we've never got to really sit down and talk to them about their campground and stuff. We've been up
Joey
there.
wants to talk, but he won't talk on camera. And he says his wife has to talk on camera, and
She's
she's
always
never
too
there.
busy. Well, she was here a lot this year,
Yeah.
but with the rain and all that stuff, we never made it over there. And with the mud and everybody had, and mud was pretty much everywhere. There's a handful of campgrounds that didn't have a mud issue. Days In didn't have any mud really down there. The people were saying Kathmandu, we had stopped over there and got my banner, my 83rd banner. And he said, actually, the county came through afterwards, and they said they were the first campground that they had seen in the county, not the city, that had no mud issues. And like I say, when I went through Pappy Hole afterwards, you could see the big mounds that they had graded off to get down to the dirt. So there was mud and stuff. Most
Yes,
campgrounds, I
that's where
heard
the
that.
kickstands is exit 37 and right there off the freeway.
Hog Heaven, we heard they got to where you couldn't get up and down their hill. It was all muddy. That's coming from people that were there. We never went out exploring any of the campgrounds to see how muddy it is. But if you had people, what I think ended up happening this year was when that rain started on Thursday or Friday, and you had those 2 or 3 days of rain, everybody parked their motorcycles and said, hey, I drove a car or a truck. Let's take this out and drive around. Well, they went in and out. And that's what got it all sloppy mud. And a lot of guys brought ATVs. They started driving those in the mud. I seen some morons down there at the Buffalo Chip the first day it rained. Some guy was out there in the grass that they just spent all this time growing up, so it'd be nice and grass, doing donuts with his motorcycle out there. And talking about security, that's when they needed somebody to go out there and kick some butt. And so yeah, but it's like, you know, we're nobody, so we're not gonna say nothing.
For a couple of days, yeah, we were thinking, man.
We were lucky because we were right there up at that back gate. We had an excellent location. We got right in and out. They let us out that back gate. We even got in there after hours and got back in because we weren't really driving to the campground. We pulled right in and back into my spot. So it was really good. We had 10 people, we had 10 spots there. Had some great people there. We didn't get to spend the time that we really wanted to do with everybody. We wanted to do a barbecue. With that rain and all that, it just really messed everything up. And a lot of people wanted to do riding after they got there. You know, after all that rain we had, a lot of them went out on a ride for, I think, 2 or 3 days. They all went out on rides. And
Gary's on, and him and his wife, I think they kind of got sick because they were out in the rain. I think when they left, it wasn't rainy, but by the time they got in the rain and got back.
you know, they said there was a strain of COVID. We all got kind of a cold or something. I don't know who had got it first or who got it from where. Sherry that was with us, she still was sick. I think last week still, she was still hacking and coughing. Never had a fever, never had chills or anything like that. It was just really congested. And some people are saying that was COVID and they got it from the rally. Who knows? Who cares? You know, sometimes it happens. You're around hundreds of thousands of people. There's a good chance if you brush up against somebody, you might have something, or you didn't wash your hands like you should. You know, not everybody does that like they should. Somebody used to carry the hand sanitizer and probably don't even have that anymore in your purse.
I do. Well, I'm not on this one.
But you ain't got
Well,
it.
I had it, and then I don't know what happened. It fell off, or I used it somewhere else.
So pretty much everybody, I think, in our group kind of got sick. Fender Kitten, her husband was down for a day or so. I don't know if he had the same thing or if he just drank too much one night. Not quite sure what their situation was. So
Well, I think he had a massage, and it was like, that was it. He was done.
Yeah.
He had a massage, and he was ready to go to bed. Yes, it did. That was very lucky that the rain stopped for the wedding. And most of the concerts too, I think, because when
yeah, almost every
Friday,
concert,
Saturday,
it was
stopped.
pretty nice. You know,
There's Des.
Yep, there you go. She's in the house. And are you going to any of the Ocean City or I think she's probably going to do Bikes, Blues and BBQ, aren't you?
She's
Because
down
a lot
in
of people
Florida.
are coming up for Bikes, Blues and BBQ.
No more masks.
Well, they're talking masks might come on again. I've been hearing that, so I don't know if it is or not. We have seen a few people lately that have had masks on, which I didn't see anybody for a long time. I think we've seen a couple people around town here that's had masks on. That lady that did it.
Cody's pricing everything else now. But
That lady that I dropped the frames off had a mask.
oh, I don't know. There's a lot. There was the Chris at Home Depot. She's always got a mask on.
Yeah, maybe she got something wrong with her.
So she might be, her immune system may be compromised.
Yeah, how much it is. Somebody may, if you got problems and stuff. And one girl that I was talking to, she kept touching her mask and she kept saying, I got to stop doing that. I got to stop doing that. Because it is, if you're touching something, you turn around and touch your mask, you're not doing yourself much good. We're not big mask people. We're not, she works in the hospital and knows the surgical masks aren't good for 20 or 30 minutes anyway. So it's like people.
And then cloth masks, all the ones that people were making and handing out or giving and buying on Etsy and everything.
There was no proof of any of that did any good. And it's like, I don't know. We're going to be flying on an airplane. This will be the first time we've flown since COVID ever started. We're not big flyers. We've been driving most of the places we go. I guess you flew. You flew back to Arizona.
I did.
From St. Louis. And so anybody else got any interesting questions you want to ask? You want anything to talk about Sturgis? If you want to talk about any rallies. So that was one of the things I was going to ask everybody is anybody else got rallies you're going to do this year yet? And what are rallies you're thinking about doing in 2024? Now, some people are going to that smoke out, which is what the monkey goes to. I don't know if it's in Tennessee or if it's in North Carolina. I don't know where it's at. We're not going to that.
Deb says she's only going to K River and Biketoberfest. She's traveling, visiting friends and family the rest of the fall.
Okay. And we're not doing K River. K River, there's too many YouTubers there, and we'll see Adam at Mike's Blues and BBQ.
Yeah, we'll see him there. It says before or after. It says in September.
His is, it must be, I don't know, it should be, I think it's before.
I don't know.
Let me look and see. We'll look and see what day his is. But we're not going to that. Been there, done that. K River Campground.
We have a question from El Buffalo. He says, I hear the chip will be open 2024 registration earlier. Any inside info?
Not yet. We haven't been in contact with the chip. We've been kind of waiting for him to call us back, but we will.
We'll look into that.
No, that's not really good.
It doesn't say anything.
Adam's site doesn't have nothing on it about his
Stubborn American?
Here's
calendar.
events.
Oh, there's calendar too.
Weddings. Well, that's kind of crappy. Oh, there's Labor Day. Nope, he ain't got nothing on his calendar yet. Adam, you better work on your internet.
In a couple days at OC to be determined. All right, George. How far away are you from that? I didn't think you'd be very far. You live in Maryland, don't you? Any word from Harley on the use of a bike?
No. We made our phone calls. We're same thing. We're waiting to hear back from them. Right now, we have canceled the trip for October. That way, we're going to do that first week. One, we've been hearing that it could be a really rainy season. The other thing that kind of is a downfall is that not all of the US 1 is open. Up around Big Sur, just past Big Sur is closed. So there'd be a big section of the 1 we wouldn't get to ride on.
September 28th through October 1st.
Okay, so that's after. You used to do it before, I thought.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I remember.
I knew
which
it
one
was real close.
Yeah, he always does it pretty close to. We've done Adams a couple of years and just never got around to doing it again. And this time we're flying, so we don't really have a way to come back afterwards to see any event.
There is one I know that has a full kitchen, almost it's like a little, what do you call it? Like an apartment.
Efficiencies.
Yes, that's in Sturgis Hotel off Junction, but that rents out really fast. So I would call right now and see if they have it available for the 85th, because I doubt if it's been booked for the 85th, but I know.
But you might
folks are
find
like,
some in Rapid City. You might be able to find some there, which is about a 25-mile ride, but you're in between the two places. You're in between. That's why I always tell people, when they always say, where should I stay if I come to Sturgis? First of all, I don't know what you want to do. Now, if you want The reason we stay in Sturgis area is because we want to be able to be near all the things that are going on. We're not very far from the Full Throttle. We're not very far from the Buffalo Chip. You got all the bars downtown. You know, you're pretty close to everything that's going on. You're not too far from Deadwood. And normally during a rally, that's kind of your main focal point. If you want to do a lot of serious riding, you want to be more towards Rapid City, because if you want to go out to Custer, you want to go to Needles, you want to go to Iron Mountain, the best way is to go through Rapid and go down that way. That's the way I always recommend going. It's just, plus you can go out to the town of Custer. That's a really cool town. There's a lot of really great riding out that way. If you want to do the Badlands, you're 25 miles closer. You know, instead of driving 90 miles, you're down to about 75 miles to get to the Badlands. So it's not quite as far a day ride. So it just kind of depends. One year we did stay in Rapid City and we were fine with that. We're not big party people. So we're not
that late at night.
You know, we're not going to come
That was even
down.
before YouTube.
Yeah. So we're not going to come downtown and hang out at night. We did stay at Kathmandu one year before we ever had YouTube, and they had the shuttle that would take you down there. It was a free shuttle that Kathmandu had. They still have it. And they would take you down there and pick you back up. So that was, you know, that's what if I'm going to do some drinking or something like that, I really don't want to ride my bike. I might have a beer with lunch, which we're not big drinkers to start with, but
And there's a scratch on the wall back there.
you better fix it. Don't know what, it's probably the paper. No, it's a scratch. Don't know what happened.
It wasn't there when I was cleaning.
I don't know. There's nothing that I've brought in over there.
Odie says that he used to be excited about the Reno street vibes of this time of year, but it went downhill.
Yeah, it's
A
really
lot of the
sad.
East Coast or West Coast ones.
What happens with the East Coast is that so many of the vendor locations want to charge you to get into it. You know, they still do it over here in Arizona for Bike Week. They charge you to get in. Maybe it's down to $12. It's crap. If I'm going to spend, you're charging these people to be there. They're probably charging them $5,000 and $10,000 or maybe more for a vendor to be there. Then you got to charge all of us to come in and spend money? No thanks. And that's happened to most of them. Las Vegas had the same thing going on there. Reno had issues
Virginia
up there.
City.
And so the idea is, what we've heard now is the main street, they used to close off down there by the casinos. They would close that street off and have bikes and stuff there. That's all gone. They're not doing that anymore. They canceled it all last year and they said no more. So now there's somebody that rented a parking lot and they're going to have vendors in this parking lot. So good luck with the parking lot. We ain't going. Now, really the only thing there is Virginia City. And you can pretty much go to Virginia City almost any weekend and you're going to have a good time there. That's really where the rally's at. It's like a big giant main street. There's really not much vendors there. There's a couple people selling food and stuff like that. And they got some casinos. And the bars are really cool there. There's some really old vintage looking buildings and stuff there, and you can check out and stuff. But the main street is just, it's lined with people. People are flashing and girls are flashing. And it's a wild, crazy time. And you can almost spend the whole time right there and you have just about as good a time. I don't think they have any bands in Virginia City or not. I don't think they had any bands anywhere. I don't remember any. Well, I guess they did down there. They were nobodies. They were just like local bands that were playing down there.
Where?
In Reno when we went there. Remember they had bands in
Yeah.
that thing?
Yeah,
I don't think they were anybody special.
They weren't big name bands.
They were like
probably
house
local
bands.
or house bands, tribute bands, whatever they want to call them. I don't know. Emery wanted to know how the air conditioner was working now.
It's cool in here.
And he's got it drained.
Yep, it's all running out the back. It's like an ocean running out there. So yep, it's been working good. This is the first time we've left it on mostly all day. I don't know what the temperature is in here. I got it set for 72.
It's in the
I can
front.
hear it running, but it's not on the high. I had it on high. What are you gonna do?
I think, doesn't it say on the front of it?
No, that's the temperature I set it to.
Oh,
That's not the temperature in the room. I put a thermometer in here. It doesn't.
the other one has a temperature on the outside.
That's just the same thing as what I set it to.
Oh.
That's not what it is.
I don't know. I thought I could tell
No.
by the little remote control.
It's probably in the 70s. It's nice, comfortable. I got 2 shirts on, so I'm not sweating or nothing. So we turned the fan off because it was kind of, you could see the reflection on the posters and stuff back here, the banners. So we got a bunch of banners. If you missed out the beginning of the video, you need to go back and watch that. I kind of show you a little bit of the shop, show you walking in, tell you a little bit about some of the banners that we've gotten so far, that we've collected these last couple years. We really didn't start collecting them until last year because we didn't know we were going to build a shop.
Yeah.
So once we
So
started
Smoky
building
Mountain.
that, that's when we started asking for some banners and stuff like that. And it's one of my prized ones here, Willie's Tropical Tattoo. I can't see it as good here because there's a glare off the lights. I didn't put the big lights up. We should have put the big ones up, I guess. Got some new fancy lights in a bag somewhere over there.
Glare not bad.
Can you see the banner though?
Yeah, we see the banner. It's coming up.
It's glary on my
For
screen.
sure. Hope
So
to see you at
let
Buckets.
me ask you, Steel Panther, most probably controversial band of the rally. What did you think of Steel Panther?
We didn't go see Steel Panther.
You didn't make it down to the show? We were not thrilled with them.
Well, we heard they dropped a lot of F-bombs.
Their musical sound, their shtick was beyond stupid.
Well, they didn't make it on America's Idol. They didn't make it to the
America's
final.
Got Talent.
Yeah, they got.
And they shouldn't have been on America's
They shouldn't have
Talent
been.
because they've been around for over 15 years already.
They were professional.
They were professional.
Well, which is what they said. This fired up, I think there was a lot of people that came to the Full Throttle this year because they seen them on TV. I never heard of them until I seen them on there.
The chip.
Sorry, the chip.
You know, but the shtick was old, and then the whole Rick Allen joke there, that just got, I mean, everybody was just like, you know, they're performing the next night, and you're doing this joke now. Why? You know, and it was horrible. We had a run-in with them in Phoenix a long time ago. That's why they earned the nickname Steel Panther.
So overall, I was pretty happy with the concerts. You know, Leonard Skinner did a great job. We were happy with Styx. They sounded really good. And who's your favorite band then?
Oh, George, they're all good.
And then also Def Leppard.
They
They
were
did a
pretty
great
good.
show.
Yep,
So,
they paid pour some sugar on me, and I was out of there. That's the only song
but I mean,
wanted to hear.
they had a lot of good songs. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
they had a great crowd. That was the largest crowd, which I told the Chip before. If you just watch social media, you can see who's going to be the biggest crowd. You can see the people making the comments. You can see that because they were afraid they weren't going to have very many people for the death-defying jump.
That was cool.
And it was pretty neat. And it was just, the bad news was it was just too crowded. It was too close. They had those people spinning around in the cars and all that stuff. It was just a little bit too much stuff going on. I guess that
It was
was
almost like Fast and Furious was there.
well, if they would have done the wall crash on Friday, that wouldn't have been in the way.
Yeah.
So we would have just had the jumps and that would have been it. That would have been a lot better. But by having the wall break and all that mess going on, it was just way too much stuff. Fez.
Des.
Oh.
CC wants to know how come the 85th is going to be more popular than the 84th or the 86th.
Okay. The way it works at any rally you go to, when it comes on the 5 or the 10, it's always going to be a bigger
Like
rally.
an anniversary.
Except for the 80th, because of the COVID, it wasn't the bigger rally. Actually, it was a great rally to go to. We
Yeah.
loved going to it, but it wasn't the crowd that you would think at the 75th or even the 70th had. So why I think the 85th is going to be the biggest is, everybody argues with me on this, is this is dying. Motorcycle rallies isn't long for this world anymore. The reason you can look at it is, one, you can see I could not believe this year how many freaking cars came to Sturgis this year. It was almost like being in Myrtle Beach with all these freaking cars driving up and down not Main Street, but driving down Junction and LaSalle. I have never, ever, ever seen that many cars ever in Sturgis. I'm waiting to find out. We won't know till October, but they'll give us the numbers of what they have in October, of the percentage of cars. I'll bet you we had over a 20 or 25% increase in people coming in cars this year. I have never seen so many cars. Once again, that's what this is getting back to, is it's getting to be not a motorcycle culture anymore. First of all, you don't get, and people are going to argue with me all the time about this, but we're the end of the baby boomers. We are the end of it. Okay. We're the ones that bought all the bikes, and people behind us, my brother-in-law, fathers, things like that. Those are the ones that bought Harleys and they built it up to what it is a few years back. Things are slowing down altogether. It's just like us. I have no intentions of buying a new bike. None at all. And probably never will. We might buy some bikes here to work on and stuff, but we're not going to be buying anything new anymore. And just the fact
But
that
not for us.
we're done with that. Well, when you start looking at all these bikes, is the younger group is not, which you can see, most hog groups are dying now. And a lot of the dealers I talked to, they got rid of the 10% discount that they gave to be hog members because they're finding out people were, all they were doing was joining the hog group, never went to a meeting because they wanted the 10% discount off of parts and service. So they don't do that. Most of the dealerships have gotten rid of that now because of that reason. Well, once again, we're losing those groups. Used to be the hog ride. Well, when we started doing this, when we started riding in hog 2007
is when you got your bike.
So when we started riding with the hog group in 2007, we went someplace every freaking weekend, all year round. We went to the Grand Canyon. We'd go on anywhere from 300 to 1,500 mile rides almost every weekend. There was some ride in that distance that we were going on either Saturday or Sunday. Some were overnighters. Now the hog groups don't do that like they used to. You know, they might do a ride once a month or once every 3 months or whatever, do a long ride. They might do a ride around town or have a poker run or something like that. I'm not counting none of that. You can go down here. We have a poker run at the Moose too, but all they're going to do is go down to hop around 3 bars and they're done.
Within a 3 mile radius.
Yeah, never drive 10 miles in the whole day.
So Michael Adams is on. He's the guy that is sponsoring us to go to Myrtle Beach.
Oh, all right. That's next year. I'm thinking the next 2 rallies, Myrtle Beach. You never did say if you wanted anything for us to say.
I know. I got his number and stuff.
And did you go to any rallies? Did you go to any of our rallies that we go to? And so that's one of the things that I'm saying, that I believe this coming up 85th will be the largest rally we're going to see in the near future. I think that's going to end up a lot of this. And people say, oh, I don't think that's going to happen. Look at Laconia. The 100th, they're not going to give you any numbers. I'm going to say it was less people than were there for the 99th when we were there.
Email us.
Why? Because people are like, I don't want to deal with all that. I don't want to deal with the traffic. People are complaining about the food price. They're complaining about tickets to go see. You know, it's like Ocean City. It's $85 or $90 and a $20 fee for you to get tickets to see the concert. Well, the average motorcycle guy is like, I'm not paying all that money. That's too much money. But the local people will all pay that, or people will fly in or come out for the weekend to experience all this, never even own a motorcycle, and enjoy it all.
It's in our blood. Our fathers, our grandfathers, our brothers, our husbands.
But the problem is the kids aren't doing it.
Yeah.
And
the buck stops here.
We bought ATVs for the grandkids, or they played on them. I bet you I don't even have 10 hours on any 3 of these that we're going to get rid of soon. We'll sell them when we get back. I got one that's a 125, a 90, 2 Chinese ones, and then I got a 400 Polaris.
600.
It's 600. I think it's crazy. And we're going to sell all that. It's behind the house, all covered up. I got to get them all back and get them running and selling. They'll kill you. When I bought the guy I bought it from, she's commenting about my thing, but I said the guy I bought it from, his 16-year-old daughter broke her leg flipping it over. First time she rode it. It's got a lot of power.
That's why they sold it.
Mm-hmm.
She went past noon and went all the way to 4 o'clock.
Well, it'll do like 50, 60 miles an hour. You can hardly keep it. You can hardly hold it on the road, but it's.
Well, somebody was saying that her 2 wheels rode the electric live wire, but you rode it when they first came out, and it was fast. It almost threw him off the back when he first started
Yeah,
up.
it was when I gave it gas, I was like, whoa.
And they're so light.
Yeah.
They're so
And they're fast. Well, the Pan America is really fast too. And I think that's what Harley Davidson's doing with these new CVOs. I think they've taken the aerodynamic style, they've changed everything on those bikes to try to appeal to the younger riders. Well, my problem is I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think we're going to get the next generations to jump on bikes and start riding, touring the United States. And they're like, oh, my brother, he does it all the time. He's 21 years old. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that nobody's going to do it.
To the rules.
But I'm not going to say that when you look at these rallies, I don't think we're ever going to see a rally again. I don't care what Sturgis says, 500,000 people. We're not going to see 500,000 people at a rally. We're going to keep seeing less and less and less. And I think that's going to be the last time, which is just like us. We're going to be 63. So in 2 years, we'll be 65. And it's like, I'm looking at 85th, will probably be my last rally. And I don't know. We'll have to see how we all feel and how well I ride still and all that. But I mean, I'm still able to ride the roads real good. I don't want to be a burden. I'm not buying a trike. I'm not a trike guy. I have no interest in a trike. I'm not buying Can-Am. I'm not buying a
Vanderhold.
I ain't buying none of that crap. When I can't ride a motorcycle anymore, that'll be the end of it. We'll sell it, and that'll be the end of my motorcycle riding adventures. But I'm not going to something else to be. We have a convertible sitting in the garage, not here, but the other house, at the house. That to me, it's just riding riding a trike is like riding in the convertible. Her convertible. We got an '02 Mustang we bought new. It's like brand new. It sits in the garage most of the time. We don't really ride it very often, drive it. But I mean, sitting there with the wind blowing, with the top down, I would rather ride in that stupid little car than I would ever want to ride in a Can-Am.
Because if it starts raining, we can put the top up. If it's hot, we can turn the air on.
And it's cold, you can put the heat on.
That's right.
Sometimes you can put the top down with the heat on.
Grandpa will get you a set of handlebars.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, that's what people say. They say if it's got a steering wheel, it's not a motorcycle.
And so I'm okay with it. If you want to own a trike and you want to ride it to a rally, I'm okay with that. Because some people, it is a motorcycle. It just has 3 wheels on it.
That's
But when
true.
you change over to a Can-Am
A
or,
lot of young people can't afford it.
yeah, and that's too. You know, you look at a bike and it's like I always talk about, and
Like
like,
I said, as long as he can. Does it may be in 65, he might be 75. I don't know. I mean, we know a lot of
people
older
in their
people.
80s that are riding.
Yeah.
You know, we know a guy down in Lakeland that's 93,
92, I think.
right? 93 by now. And he
Yeah.
rides every day. He drops it once in a while, but he does drive it every day. So I'm not saying that. I'm just
He's
looking.
just saying when it comes to that point in time, when he feels like he can't ride a motorcycle anymore, that's going to be the end of
What
it.
we look at too is I've done something these last 3 years that I would have never dreamed of doing. Me and my buddy Art, which I guess Art's not on tonight,
No, I haven't seen him yet.
we dreamed about riding from California to Daytona. Well, it would have never happened in our normal lifetime because there's no way we could have ever made it there in our 2-week vacation that we had. There's no way we would have been, you know, we could have busted butt to get there, but once again, we wouldn't want to ride. You know, it's like somebody was saying that the other day on Facebook. I don't know who this stupid moron that keeps saying this all the time, but he's like, everybody needs to ride their bike. So by the time they get there, they don't want to ride no more. And all they want to do is drink and get drunk. Well, dude, that's not why I came to a rally. If that's what you want to do at a rally, then that's your business. But I mean, I come to a rally to do riding that I wouldn't normally get to do in my area. So yes, but in my case, I don't care where you live. You can always find places to ride a bike to get your skills up level. You know, you can go out and put cones out in a parking lot that's got a vacant store in it and just keep doing donuts all day long. You know, doing S-turns and
Figure eights.
yeah, and doing all these different things to get to where you're comfortable to handle your bike. But I mean, when you go to Sturgis, I see it so much in Sturgis, but it's probably in a lot of other places like that too. That you get onto, you're behind somebody that's on Needles Highway or Iron Mountain, and they're doing 20 miles an hour. Well, I'm learning how to ride. Well, that's not a place you should be learning how to ride. You know, you don't just jump on a motorcycle and go down and get your driver's test. You know, you go get a permit and try to learn how to ride a bike before you
That's what I would do. When I first got my Sportster, there was a big old church not down the street from us, had a huge parking lot. And I would just go down there because right turns I was okay with, left turns I wasn't so good. So I would do figure eights backwards or whatever to the left. And that's what I would do.
And she took the Rider Edge course, which I highly recommend. Anybody should take that. And even she took it, went back and got the advanced course too. I would even recommend that highly good. You know, they even showed her how to back a bike out of a trailer, which I would have never dreamed she could have ever done that. Being able to pull it down, you got a regular ramp like on the back of our toy hauler, backing it down without any help. And so I was very impressed that she was able to do that. But by having somebody else train her versus me trying to train her how to ride a bike. And that doesn't always work out as good. And and she did ride a bike once in a parking lot. We rented a Kawasaki or something one time. We came to California, and we stopped in a parking lot, and she just she was always confused because she's
Dyslexic.
yeah. So she didn't know if she could pull a clutch in and pull a brake and turn lights on, blinkers.
I still think it's stupid to have your brake and your throttle on the same hand. Because when we first time when I got my license and everything, and it was a Friday night and they were having something at the Harley dealer, and he's like, "You want to go?" And I'm like, "All right." So I rode behind him all the way there, and it was kind of a little bit of a hill when you pulled into park. And so I went to try to grab the brake and hit the throttle, and I went, and he went to try to grab me, and he went. So
You know why they do that, though? Why that brake and throttle are together, right? Because it's physically impossible to pull the brake and grab and twist the throttle at the same time.
I did it.
You missed it, you missed it.
Well, she grabbed and she
No,
turned at the
I
same time.
grabbed the brake
Wow.
and hit the throttle, and there I went.
Yeah.
So throttle. Yep.
So
Somebody else asked something.
So that's one of the things that I think that the 85th will be a really big one. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat that I am, that they think, just like Neil. Neil's talking, okay, so you'll be
Neil
what?
says.
What do you say? Be 69 by the time there?
Yep, 69.
You know, do you think you're going to be there for the 100th? Are you going to be staying around for Sturgis for the 100th? You know, I don't know if I'll be alive by the 100th time when it comes rolling around. You know, it's not that far away, but would I ever dream of riding my motorcycle or even
Emery
being in
said
Sturgis on the 100th?
He's 45 and you can outwork him, Emery said.
No. But everybody's got different paces of what they can do and what they have. Well, see, I always compare myself to Art. Art's not on. I can never keep up with Art on a curvy road. He's so far ahead of me all the time. Well, I just assume then I'm not that good of a rider in curves. Well, then when we took the group out and we went down Iron Mountain Needles Highway, they were all like, "You're going way too fast." Well, that's why you guys can all stay together. We'll meet up at the bottom. And one person stayed up pretty close to me all the time, but a couple times I pulled away from them. But they were like, "Wow, you do a really great job." And I'm like, well, you know, to me, I feel like I'm an all right rider. I don't think I'm the best there is. I'm not the worst there is. But I do enjoy taking the bike out. I'm actually would have been a lot faster if she wouldn't have been on the back of the bike, because she don't like to go too fast in the curves. Once we start scraping.
See, if I may, what you're talking about is what I would describe if I was forced to pick one word of the 83rd to describe the 83rd rally, it would be preparedness. Because the things you're talking about today are being prepared, not just for, you know, having the bike ready, but having yourself ready and having a plan of what you're doing, where you're going. Also being emotionally prepared to do something, because there was a lot of people in Sturgis this year that they may have been financially prepared, or they may have been mechanically prepared. They weren't emotionally prepared for the rally. They were getting angry real easy at the slightest provocation, real or imagined. They were getting overwhelmed by the situations. That was the biggest takeaway, was people being prepared for this rally. And there was not a lot of people prepared for this rally.
One of the things that I seen, by going off of what Mike's talking about, being prepared to come to rally, people were all butthurt about the rain. You know, yeah, I was just satisfied having 3 days of some pretty steady rain coming down. But I mean, once again, I don't know. Last year, I don't think we actually had any rain in Sturgis. But other than that, it pretty much rains every year. And in the Black Hills, it's going to rain. You're going to get rained on somewhere. I mean, you just got to hunker down and, you know, hopefully you're there more than a few days. You know, if you came and got there on Thursday or Friday and you had to go home on Monday or Tuesday, then yeah, dude, you sucked. You got the wrong day. But I mean, it's not uncommon. Just like here, we're going to these next 2 rallies and it could rain the whole time we're there.
Especially on the East Coast with all the hurricanes and everything going on.
You don't know. You hope for the best. You hope that things will be perfect picture and everything's going to be hunky-dory. But when you go to a motorcycle rally, especially when it's going, Sturgis is 9 days, you go down to Daytona for a long time. Most of the rallies we go to, it does rain. That's one of the sad things about it. We've been in Sturgis and it snowed before. So, you know, you're going to get hailed on. We got hailed on in Florida. You know, it's just, you just don't know when you're out there.
Lots of wind too.
What's going to affect you when you're out there. Also, like one time we were in Sturgis, went to the Custer Loop, and the bison were in heat. So the bulls, the males, were actually charging anything that moved. If it was a car, a motorcycle, they were goring them. And this was probably, 15 years ago, which you would think if they were mating season, it would be the same time all the time. But I guess I've never seen it happen again during August. So I don't know why it was that time. But it was during the rally because we were down there during it. And they said, stay back. And they were hitting cars and everything else. And they said, be very careful if you go down with the motorcycle. And we didn't see any of that, but I guess we've seen some people that had it happen. So you just got to always be prepared when you go. And when we talk about this, and we're going to start talking really early this year, in the next few weeks, when we get back, probably in November, we're going to start talking about Sturgis already. You know, and you're like, why do you talk so far ahead? Well, that's the idea. Just what Mike said. You've got to be prepared for what you want. First of all, you've got to figure out, And it's like any rally you go to. Sturgis, what's nice about Sturgis, and we talk so much about Sturgis, is because it's really the only rally that's really set up for motorcycles. You know, there's all these great campgrounds that open up during the time. You know, there's so many places to stay. They got a good assortment of hotels and motels that are in Rapid City and stuff like that. You can stay in Custer, and you can go out to Deadwood, or there's a handful in Sturgis and stay.
Very beginning.
So there's a lot of things like that that you guys can, you know, kind of figure out what I want to do. Well, that's what I say. Like we talked to some people that actually stay out. I think they said Hill City or Lead. And they've been doing it for like the last 10 or 15 years coming out. And I'm like, oh, well, what do you guys do? And they're like, we ride every day. We get up in the morning, we ride all day, come back, we have a bonfire, if there are a lot of fires, and we drink and we barbecue. And the next morning we get up. I said, well, do you do? Nope, we never go in Sturgis. We never go to Deadwood. We never go to any place where all the people are at. We're just going out and riding all over the Black Hills and everywhere we can find to ride. And I'm like, that's great. There's a lot of people that we see that go out. What's the ride that's in Wyoming?
Beartooth Pass.
And a lot of people during the rally have gone out during Beartooth Pass. We were kind of wanting to do that after the fact, but it's just with all the stuff, losing Charlie and all that stuff, we just decided we weren't going to do that this year. Maybe next year we'll do the Beartooth. We'll be out there long enough that maybe we'll go out there for 3 days and do a ride out there and back, which would be neat. I've never done Beartooth, and go out and do that and film all that and talk about that and stuff like that. So
With you going to Cat, with not staying at the Chip the whole time, does that mean Ham Jam is back on in Hewlett?
Oh, we try to do that every other year.
yeah, so
So
possibly.
we'll probably do that.
Possibly. So yeah, we don't try to do the same thing all the time. Probably about the only thing we won't be doing anymore is Topless Tuesday. They're so anal, and you know, once you see one, you've seen them all. And with the accidents and all the time you go out there and all the time you spend.
You've seen one? You've seen them all?
No, just the ones that are up there. I've seen them all. I can see them. I can see better ones in town.
You see left, you see right.
But
He says, once you've seen, there's no two alike.
that's why I say it's like a museum. You know, that artwork.
Topless Tuesday, they're boobs you see, but they're not the ones you want to see.
And so nothing wrong with their event, and it's great to let them go on and do what they do, and we'll see how it turns out next year. They stopped everybody from filming this year, so that might pee off some people. Some people were still saying it was a crapshoot. You know, we're kind of done with that. We you know, we get a lot of wet t-shirts and stuff that we'll have at other events and stuff, and sometimes those are more fun versus something that you got to spend all freaking day there to get a handful of you know, shots and stuff. And let them do what they want, and I'm okay with them. Let them survive. But for the ride, how far you got to go out there, and for all the time that we have to spend, because if you're not getting there by 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to be anywhere near the front. And if you can't get in the front, yeah, you can see some girls walking around in the crowd, because it's actually there's a whole lot of things you can do in Wyoming. You can actually go to the Testy Festival. That's another event that they have out there in Wyoming, and you'll see way more little boobs than you, big boobs than you.
Montana.
This is Montana. Yeah, Montana. Sorry, not Wyoming, Montana. But they have the Testy Festival. You want to go there? One of our friends, Michael, he goes there all the time. He says, you can't believe what you see. So it's out there if you want to find it.
He said, Neil said to go to One-Eyed Jackson, watch him paint the girls.
Yeah. And there's a lot of them. There was a lot of painters this year. There was one over at the Knuckle there. They were doing painting, and you got Willie that cuts the t-shirts and stuff like that. And so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can get without having to drive all that way, because the food's not that great. They have some taco truck or something that comes out there. I don't know what they had this year, but I mean, there's nothing.
I don't know what I was going to say now.
But there's one place we did. We always come back and eat at the Carl's Jr. or the Hardee's or whatever it is there. And
Belfouche.
yeah, that's usually where we end up stopping last time we went out last 2 years ago. Last
With
year.
June.
I just like the ride you ride up through Belfouche to Alzada, then you take off south right there, go to Devil's Tower, and then come right back to Sturgis.
See, I'd rather do that when I do the Ham Jam. So if you do the Ham Jam, you can go through Aladdin. You stop at Aladdin on the way
Well,
through.
first you do the Stone
Yeah, you
House.
can do the Stone House first, then you go to Aladdin, then you can go do the Ham Jam, then you go out and do Devil's Tower, then you swing back through Sundance, and that'll wrap up your whole day. You've seen a bunch of stuff. See, if you go to Topless Tuesday, from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, you're stuck.
You can't move.
So you can't do nothing. So if you don't want to go after that, well, there's a lot of people get accidents. There's people that die on the way out there and all kinds of stuff. What?
They said, rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett. He's
Yeah.
been a parrot head since the 70s. And then his shirt on the back says Margaritaville,
I think I bought that in Vegas when we went.
I think. So
The shirt I had since 2006. And so, yeah, I put it on the day for, she couldn't find her shirt that said Margaritaville.
it didn't say Jimmy Buffett. It just said,
Well, but I guess he had the margarita must be trademarked. He must have had it trademarked because they ended up saying he's like a billionaire.
and he had what, 3
very,
kids?
yeah, very smart guy. I didn't know, I knew him from his music, but I didn't really know how business conscious he was. He actually said he was probably the most cheerful person you would ever meet. Nothing ever, actually, when he went to the hospital last week for his cancer, he actually was tweeting some people out saying, "Hey, I'll be back." He even postponed some concerts to May. He had no intentions that he was going to pass away, but they sent him home on Monday for hospice, and then Friday is.
He died on our anniversary.
Yeah.
My daughter called us, texted it, and I told him, and he says, "Nah, it ain't true. Look it up." And I said, "It says Associated Press." So
Yeah. So I looked it up, and it's true. I didn't know he had cancer, and we're not big Jimmy Buffett followers. I listen to a lot of his music. We've gone to some of his concerts, probably been in 3 or 4 concerts we've gone over the last 20 years. And I haven't seen him probably in the last 10 years, probably.
we'd always try to talk the chip into having Jimmy Buffett as
Yeah.
their last concert on Saturday. They said you get a whole new group of people in,
Yeah.
bring a bunch of sand, some swimming pools.
I said, that would be just the ultimate thing. I've been pushing for 2 years to have Jimmy Buffett. I guess I can't do that anymore.
No, it won't be the same.
No.
Speaking of bands, who's playing at what Bikes, Blues and BBQ? Who's the biggest band in there? What do you think?
Well, they've got, it's a Cheap Trick. The city's got Cheap Trick playing. And the Rogers has Jackal. And
They're having the AC/DC tribute band.
a bunch of them are having that. There's 3 AC/DC tribute bands going on.
Jasmine Kane,
Yeah, Jasmine Kane's going to be at the.
different places.
Yeah, Jasmine Kane's playing a bunch of places. The Texas guy, Texas
Oh.
hippies.
No, the Texas
Or
City
hippie.
Coalition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're coming to.
They're kind of a hard, metal, heavy metal.
Yeah, they're coming to the
band for
Flathead
me.
Rally Point. They'll be playing there. That's their headliner for Saturday. Is them.
I'm gonna start my own AC/DC tribute band.
How are you? Well, see, it's I never really was into tribute bands till we came to California. And when we started, because there's so many of them are in California. And to go listen to, like, we know a guy that does Bob Seger. We know another person that does Journey. And it's like some of these ones are like, you can close your eyes and it's like, it sounds exactly like them. And the other great thing about it is they only play the hits. They don't play like, well, first time we ever seen ZZ Top, and I've said this a couple of times, and this is like 20 years ago, that we go see ZZ Top and they come out, and after they sing like the first song, they're like, "Oh, we're going to play some songs off the new album."
You have no idea.
About 5 or 6 songs later, they're like, "Okay." We finally walked away. It was at Fontana at the Love Ride. A lot of people know about the Love Ride. We did the Love Ride that year, and they had ZZ Top. We ended up walking out. One, it was freaking hotter than hell, but out in the middle of a field.
That was a
And-
nightmare, that ride. It was
Oh, yeah.
fine all through Glendale. They had police escorted. They got you on the freeway, and it was a free for all.
Oh yeah, you had crotch
People were
rockets.
like-
Oh yeah,
Oh my gosh, I thought we were going to die before we got there.
it was nuts.
It was.
But yeah, it's so then what was funny about that album, I bought that CD. I don't think any of those songs ever even made it to the top 10,000 list. You know, and they never made it anywhere with them. So it's like some of these bands, they do that all the time because that's why they do the tour. They're trying to push that
guess.
new album. Well, I bought the stupid album, but I mean, none of the songs ever made it to anything. Sad.
Yep. Des is leaving. She said, "Go."
I got Steel Panther's album when I washed my car last week.
Did you?
Oh.
So now who's in? You said Billy Idol's in Ocean City.
Yeah, they're having ZZ Top, Leonard Skinner,
Joan Jett,
Joan Jett.
Billy Idol.
Yeah, well, say it's only 4 nights, so it's you got Wednesday night, which they haven't announced yet. A lot of times he'll do a Wednesday nights and he does a free concert, and then he'll have so then you have Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, and that's it. There's no Sunday.
Bikes, Blues and BBQ band.
And
This 2020.
but what's weird about Bikes, Blues, and BBQ this year is they got bands everywhere. So they got bands downtown in Rogers. They've got bands downtown in Eureka Springs. Then the Flathead Campground, they've got bands going on. So there's 3 places that have got pretty decent bands. Quiet Riot, I wouldn't consider them to be,
Come on.
I know, but I'm just saying that to me, I'm not considering them to be a headliner. They're an old band
Well,
that's,
they were here as a headliner.
yeah,
They're the casino tour.
yeah.
They're,
And they're not putting any new music out, and they don't have that many great hit songs. So it's like when you start looking at these rallies, you start seeing that, which was kind of like Travis Tritt. For like 2 years there, it seemed like Travis Tritt played at every freaking rally you could find. He was at every single one. And some of these are like that.
That was
Buck Cherry.
2022.
What?
2022.
Was Travis Tritt?
Yes, every single rally. we
Buck
went to.
Cherry.
I'm pretty certain when we have a rally here at the garage, we're going to be able to get Buck Cherry to play.
Yeah. Buck Cherry seems to play at every freaking rally too. And
For their one song.
and then you got the other, what are some of them other ones that Shine.
Shine Down.
Shine Down.
They
Shine Down's a great show.
I have never even heard any of the music they've ever played.
Shine Down's a great show. That was great. I'm hoping they're coming back
And,
for 84.
Them and what's some of these other ones that they've had this year?
Puddle of Mud, POD.
Limp Bizkit.
I'm not a Limp Bizkit fan.
That was that's all you needed was people, thrashing in the
Were
pit.
they moshing?
They were moshing in the pit, and then they got bikes in the pit. So and our daughter in a wheelchair in the pit. Yeah, it worked out well for everybody.
They were getting washed.
Todd King said, thanks for the info today.
I appreciate you. Thanks for all of you watching. 'Cause I'm probably not going to be on too much longer. I kind of went through all my spiel that I had.
The farm has bands. Is that hideout out there at?
No, that's a different place. That farm place, I think they're going to have. It's a campground that has no utilities. It's dry camping. Normally it's a tent place, but I seen it today come up, and it's the one that the city says it's their official rally. Seems like the city and some of these other campgrounds have an issue. I don't really know what it is. We're going to know more when we get out there because we're going to explore a lot of this stuff. So I did see about that
Cracker
farm.
there too.
What?
Uncle Cracker at Ocean City. Leonard Skinner, ZZ Top, Uncle Cracker, the Sharp Dressed Man, Simple Man Tour. I don't know, is that a tribute band?
Probably.
Shine Down, Blue Oyster Cult.
Jeez.
That show's a lot bigger than you make it sound.
What day is Blue Oyster Cult?
That says the 15th. Or is that,
I'm probably looking at last year.
it says 2023. Oh, that's 2011. Shine Down is the 2023.
Yeah, Shine Down's a great show. They really rock.
Blue Oyster Cult was 2011. I don't know why they have that on there. It's all in line with them.
So we'll find out. We'll give more information. We're waiting for the promoter to call us on. He takes care of both of those. So we'll find out a little bit more about Ocean City and Bikes, Blues and Barbecue. We'll get a hold of them on Tuesday. If we get something, we'll come out with something sooner. Excuse me. We're going to be meeting with the
It
Badgers.
says upcoming concerts. It's got them down here again, but it still says 2011.
What do you look at? Ocean City.
Bike Fest, upcoming dates for 2023. And it's got Leonard Skinner, ZZ Top, Uncle Cracker.
Bands at Ocean City Bike Fest.
And it's got Shine Down, and then it's got Blue Oyster
Quit
Cult.
talking. You're running over my thing while I'm trying to figure out what's
We're
going
doing mine
on.
too.
Well, you're in something that's not giving you the right stuff. Concerts at Ocean City
Who's saying
Bike
the right
Fest.
stuff?
So right now they've got the 16th is Leonard Skinner. Billy Idol is on Thursday. Shine Down is on Friday. Leonard Skinner, ZZ Top, and Uncle Cracker. Well, that's a pretty big night. The
Yeah.
16th is Leonard Skinner, ZZ Top, and Uncle Cracker. That's a pretty big lineup.
That's Saturday.
Yeah,
That's
16th.
Saturday.
So that's about all we're seeing.
Were you guys at the Chip for Lita Ford?
Mhm.
Yeah,
What do you think?
it's all right.
She still has the music, but she can't sing it anymore.
It's all right.
Well, looky there. Rider X came on. I was wondering. Don't forget ZZ Top and Billy Idol.
Yeah.
Is X going to that? Is X going to be at that rally, or is he in England at that time?
No, I think he's going to Ocean City.
Yeah, he'll be there for Ocean City.
He was excited we were going.
The week we were going to do the ride up the coast was the week they would be in England. So he says, hello, everyone.
Did he get his trailer out of Florida?
Yeah, I think he did. You got
He was
your
putting,
trailer.
he got a
Biker
trailer and he
bars.
was putting biker bars in it last time, a couple weeks ago, a month ago, whatever.
All right, Neil. Prayers for Neil that he gets his moose. He says he's heading back out to go hunting.
You got your waders on?
He's going to be paddling his canoe and scooping out the water. I thought he had a hole in his boat. I told him I was going to send him some of that Flex Seal. He said, it's not from a leak. It's from the rain.
He must
so
have a
hard."
really little boat.
A full canoe. I don't know. Check out Shinedown's cover of Symbol Man. And from, who sang that? Allman Brothers. OC is the best lineup I've seen in years. All right, that's pretty cool.
Well, they had Kid Rock there a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey, Marisa.
What number?
How are you doing?
What number rally is this for Ocean City? How many years have they been?
I have no idea.
What
I don't think
number
they-
is the
I don't think they, a
bike
lot of rallies
rally
don't
in
keep
Ocean
track of
City
everything.
number?
Because it's like here in Laughlin, they had like 35 years or something. They had the Laughlin River Run. I had no idea
How
that it
many
was that
years
old.
has the Ocean City had their bike rally?
Because we know Bikes, Blues and BBQ is relatively new. That's just a couple of years. That's about 5.
But Bikes, Blues and BBQ is one of the only ones that the money is donated to a charity.
Sturgis, a lot of their stuff is.
Yeah, but not the majority of the money. They collected over $1 million in state tax.
Mike and Patsy are here. Ryder X is jealous.
Yep.
What I have to do it. I have to do it. Hold on.
Hope to see you this winter. You too, Craig. Are you going to be down here in this area?
Photo bomb. Hi, X.
You look like those
Good night,
wrestlers.
Neil.
Wish you were here. You want to see Patsy? Here's Miss Patsy to say hi.
Hi, guys.
Thanks for hosting us. Happy anniversary to Bob and Tam. Looking forward to many more great years of coverage. We love you guys. We're in it. We're with you guys. And thank you guys for being fans of Bob and Tam, too.
We got a lot of you guys. We ate American Legion for supper with Neil, and it was a good, solid meal. Enjoyed with the kids. Oh, I know. They've got an excellent group there. This lady has I don't know, she's part of the foundation.
Yes, she's part of the
Of Down syndrome kids.
Yep.
So what George says, which I've kind of heard this already, because what they're doing is now, if you're in the inlet, you have to take a bus unless you have a motorcycle. So if you're at Ocean City and you want to go down to the inlet and see the concerts and stuff, you have to drive. So I guess that's what it is. He says it's a real mess trying to get out of there after a concert. Well, we always learn. We don't always wait for the last song anymore. We get the heck out before. Like if we end up going to see Billy Idol, we'll be gone way before he sings his encore.
24 hours of daylight in Alaska. So somebody said, you're going to go moose hunting at night? I have chest waders and 2 raincoats that stay dry. Bye now.
Tell Neil the moose don't like having their antlers rubbed like motorcycles.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yes, he said he did get his trailer back. He put it on his jet ski trailer and put that on top of it and got it back.
Getting ready for Sturgis next year. Where'd you book at? Did you find your place to book yet in Sturgis?
Happy newlyweds, yep. I don't know. He didn't say. He just said, you guys look great together. Us or them? Or all 4 of us together?
Wasn't there a movie about that in the 70s with Alan Alda? Bob, Ted.
No, I was thinking same time next year. I don't know
Same time
why.
next year, Neil Simon, same time next year. That's a good one.
Neil, or Stephen's on. Did Jeffrey Pope get a hold of you, Stephen?
He went to
Stephen might go to Sturgis next year. That would be fun.
Did he say something about
He
me?
said, first he kind of said no. He said, I'm not riding my bike that far. And then he said, oh, what the heck? Tell him to call me. I said,
take
he'll
your
probably
time.
trailer.
You're retired.
Yeah.
So take your time and no big hurry. And when
It's
we
only
first started,
5:30 up there.
when we first started, we had no idea. The first time we went to Sturgis, I think we took 5 days to get there.
Ryder X said he was waiting to see where we're staying before he books.
Right. coming soon next week. We will announce it.
We're staying in Arizona, but go to Vegas a lot. Okay, Craig. Craig was the second guy that came out and saw the trailer.
Shop.
Remember, we met him up at Meekum Auction. He took us out to dinner, and then he came down here that next weekend, and they were on their way to Quartzsite.
Yeah.
So I haven't changed my name on Facebook yet, but I've got to do that very soon. Alaska, it's 8:30 here. Yeah. Well, and I still think it stays late.
Well, we're not
It
really
stays-
8:30. We're only
Well, no,
6:30 here.
that's- He's in Xanax Bikers and
Central Zone.
Central Time.
Because what we are is we're still, because we have Indians, Native Americans living here. Somehow, there's not that many that somehow they've got it to where this is one of the few states that do not change for the time zone. So we're still in Mountain Time, but we actually are on Pacific Time. And then when everything switches for spring, then we go into regular Mountain Time.
Or Jesus comes back. Ryder X says, I'm going to Sturgis next year unless the zombie apocalypse happens.
Hopefully you'll be leaving with Jesus and we'll be gone before the apocalypse comes.
I just had a horrible thought. If Neil's in the woods and the moose have golf carts.
He's in trouble.
He's probably already left. He said bye a while ago. He hasn't said nothing lately. So
Maine to Sturgis, 24. All righty, there you go, Bill Baker.
Yeah.
You can bring some goodies. I have somebody that brings me watermelon and strawberry rhubarb pie and all kinds of goodies. So he says he's a baker, Bill the baker. Oh, 420 though.
wrong kind of bacon.
Probably.
That's not Baker. That's
Ryder.
Bacon.
Bacon.
The baker. Yeah.
Bacon. He's doing some bacon.
I didn't see I saw baked, so I'm thinking, well, it'll be a party in Sturgis. Yes, it will, Rod. He tried to give me some stuff too. No more stuff from Ryder X. I'll bring brownies. Yep, there you go.
All right. So anybody else got any more questions about rallies or things that's going on? We'll be talking more about the shop and when we get back.
If you guys just got on and didn't get to see the shop, go back to the very beginning and he does a whole intro, walks around the shop and shows you all the stuff. So
Yeah.
we're in the shop right now, in the
We're-
studio.
Yeah. So we haven't got a lift yet. That's still on the budget case. And to get bikes, first we got to get some bikes too. So we're going to figure all that out when we get back. I don't know if we're going to start anything before the end of the year or not. It may end up being next year before we get all of our veteran bikes and all that in line and figure out how we're going to do it. We're actually looking at a 501c program now. So we don't know if we'll go that route on the bike building part, not on the YouTube, but on the bike building part, might switch it over to a 501c to where people can actually donate money and for help us build the bikes. And then it would be a tax write-off for you. So we're looking into that now and figuring out the cost and all that kind of stuff. And we'll know more at the end of the year. Tax
So-
committee time.
Bob Costa said he's recovering from a motorcycle accident last Sunday.
Ow.
He just got out of the hospital. He's been in there 6 days. He's doing well. He may not ride for a while. His leg and wrist need to heal. Ouch.
That hurts.
It's no fun. Been there. Mine was my shoulder and my ribs. Oh. I make 400 and 800 milligrams.
Tam, when you had your wreck, was that a high speed wreck or
No, slow speed. Doing about 30, 35.
Low, yeah. And I was just coming up to the side of him. And when my tire got to about his back tire, I thought he's gonna,
Come over.
and he did, right? Just
After
like
that, it was the guy came out of the carpool lane, the fast track in California.
double yellow lines. You weren't supposed to
And
cross.
Now they got these little cones up there where you can't do it anymore. Should sue the state for it.
And it was a hit and run. He
Yeah.
hit me and took
Never
off.
stopped. She slowed across 3 lanes of traffic.
California is such a wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yep. How about that? There you go. Steven says, Pam preferred the gummies. No, I didn't. I don't know. And he even gave me one and told me I only take a half of one, and it still did me in. He says, good luck. I almost got up and took something last night. My legs were killing me.
When you brought up about the rallies fading out, have you noticed that the sport bike guys, the squids, if you will, the guys that ride the super crotch rockets,
they're sociable, but they don't do things like
No.
have
Yeah, well, they don't go, yeah.
organized rallies. They just show up.
They're adrenaline junkies is what they are. They want to go fast, go around the curves, get there,
Go
and
home.
get home.
But they don't really come in a group. You won't necessarily see, like we've seen them in California, there'll be like 30 or 40 of them out riding, doing wheelies and all this stuff down the highway. They're going out there just to do stupid stuff is what they're doing. They're not really going on an adventure. They're not riding from here to the Grand Canyon or something like that on their bike. Not saying that there isn't people that do that, but you don't see it like you do. Like us, when we're traveling to a rally, we see lots of Harleys in groups. There might be 5, might be 10, might be 15, maybe even more bikes that we pass in the truck, pulling the trailer, and they're all riding together. So it's a group ride. Out of all the rallies we've gone to, I probably haven't, on the highway, I haven't seen more than 1 or 2 crotch rockets together by themselves. I don't see any of them in a group. Now, I have seen them up and down Daytona, running up and down the one or something like that. There'll be a group of them, but most of them are riding just for the afternoon. They didn't come from Chicago or they didn't come from California to go to Daytona. So you don't see that. And you might say, well, I'm one of those guys. I ride my crotch rocket across the United States. Well, good for you. I'm just telling you, when we drive, I look at the bikes when we travel and I'm looking to see if they're Hondas, if they're Harleys, if they're Indians. I'm just kind of taking a glance to see what it is. If we pull up to a gas station, there's 20 bikes there. There might be one crotch rocket that's stuck in there with those other, Harleys and Hondas or whatever it is, Indians that are in that group. But you don't see a pack of crotch rockets going across the country for a ride. Oh, if you've been checking out my Facebook page, you guys should check out the Cannonball. It is vintage antique bikes. We're going to totally miss it. I've had a couple of you on Facebook say you're going to send me some videos and pictures for the shop. And we greatly appreciate it. Just for the fact that we're going to miss it. They're leaving about the time we're heading to Ocean City, they're coming across the United States. So by the time we get back home to California area here, they're already going to be done.
When
They come back on the
get
22nd.
to the Bikes, Blues and BBQ, because I think they're stopping in Branson, Missouri, which we
Yeah.
won't be very far from. We'll be in Ocean City. Then when we get to Bikes, Blues and BBQ, they'll be here in Bullhead.
Yeah, they're in that
Lake
Lake
Havasu.
And so go out and look at this. Look it up, the Cannonball Run for motorcycles, antique motorcycles. And it starts just around the 14th or 15th is when they start. But they'll already be, we'll be on opposite parts of the state, country while
When they're there, we'll be here.
Yeah.
When they get here, we'll be there.
Is
So
it still a race or is it just a ride?
I think it's just a
Like
ride.
Kyle Petty's ride?
I think it's the idea is for these guys on these vintage bikes, they're coming out on 1901s, 1904s, these
To go
old,
cross country.
yeah, and they're riding them across the country. So I think it's more of a challenge to make your bike make it across the country. And so it's been going on for years, but it's 3,800 miles is what they're riding. And so it'd be really neat. And so I put a bunch of it on our Facebook pages. You guys can check it out. And if you're in the area, send us some pictures. I've actually got what's that box called? You can send a lot of pictures.
Oh, Dropbox.
Yeah, I have a Dropbox account, not on this. It's a personal one. And you let me know if you have it, and I'll send you my thing. And you can send us some pictures or videos or whatever you might have.
So if it's in your area, take some pictures for us
Yeah.
since we're going to miss it.
It'd be worth going to see.
If we'd stay home, we would have got it, but I don't know.
Didn't know about it.
We will have to do a sunset ride to Delaware when you're in Ocean City.
We only got a car.
Well, Clint from Speed said he was going to bring his motorbike, mini
Yeah,
bike.
but it's only gonna be a scooter.
What's up, Scooter?
I mean, it'll maybe be able to get us into the concerts instead of having to.
I don't know.
So to get into the concerts, you have to be either on a motorcycle or driving a bus.
No,
Get on a bus.
be on the bus.
Yeah.
Shuttle service. It's all free. If you got a pass, if you got a thing to go to the concert, you ought to get to ride this public transport for free. Not charge you for that. It's kind of neat. So we're going to check it all out. We'll give you a great rundown of what we think about Ocean City, and that'll be it. Don't know if we'll ever go back. We'll see. We'll let you
Monkey
know.
goes to the smokeout, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does the smoke out.
Monkey, we're not going to go.
Yeah, we're not going to the smoke out.
Is that might be where, because that's in Tennessee, isn't it?
No, I think it's North Carolina or something.
Because that's
Great American Smokeout.
where there's a few people that aren't going to go to
Great American Smokeout. I just don't really have any vendors.
Myrtle Beach, that are going to go to someplace in Tennessee. There's a rally going on instead of Myrtle Beach.
Great American Smokeout Motorcycle Event. September 7th through the 10th, and it's at Rowan County Fairgrounds, wherever that's at. North Carolina, Salisbury.
Smoke out, that's only 3 days though.
I don't know.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 4 days.
My director said he could tow his bike and Angie's bike to OC if she agrees.
There you go. I was just looking on my phone. It came up and said, "What is the biggest motorcycle event in the U.S.?" And I thought, okay, let's see what they're saying. And of course, they said Sturgis.
It's the biggest motorcycle.
Well, see, Daytona tries to say they're the largest.
No.
When we first went down to Sturgis,
Laconia says they're
Yeah.
the biggest.
when we went down, yeah, Laconia ain't got nothing.
Well, they're the
They're the
oldest.
oldest. They are the oldest. But when we went to Daytona the first time and we went down and talked to the police, and he's like, I want to let you know, we're not like a little poke-tuck town like Sturgis is. We're a big rally here. We're Daytona. We're here. We're both sitting there like thinking, you have no freaking idea how big Sturgis is. It covers 3 different states, all the events that are going on. Daytona doesn't. Barely covers more than 2 counties or 3 counties, I guess. But yeah, but people don't know. They think of Sturgis, the city of Sturgis. That's where it's at. Well, of course, the city of Sturgis is nowhere near the size of Daytona or Ormond Beach. No, nowhere near. But that's not where the rally is at. The rally is everywhere. And so, like I say, if anybody else would be big, which is like Bikes, Blues and BBQ. Bikes, Blues and BBQ, this is a big step that they're all doing. They got all these different campgrounds now that are starting to come together for the rally here. This could very well be a very good replacement for a lot of these rallies that are disappearing now. Just like I say, the Midwest, where you get a rally that's in Arkansas there, you're kind of like in the middle of the country. So you could bring people from California, you could bring them from Florida, you can come from New York. It's not that far to get there. You're kind of centrally motivated to where, you look at Sturgis, it's, I don't know what the difference is, the address. Let me look and see. I don't know what. Distance from Daytona Beach to Rogers, Arkansas. That is, no, it's 1,160 miles.
That's it?
Yeah. And then I wanted to do Daytona to Sturgis, South Dakota. Oh, it's more. So actually, like for the Monkey Man, he would be better off going to Bikes, Blues and BBQ. Well, actually, he's a little farther down. But maybe he wouldn't go all the way up to Daytona. But it's about 1,200 miles. Where going the other way, it's almost 2,000 miles from Daytona to Sturgis. So yeah, you're looking at almost 1,000 more miles. So yeah, that might be really something to think about. Now the difference with the Sturgis is, see, most people don't stay the whole time. Most people don't get there the Friday before and they stay all the way till the Sunday. You kind of pick and choose to where some people say, I don't necessarily want to go to a small rally because it's not as many days. But the difference is, do you spend that whole time? Do you spend 9 days at the rally? Now, if you go to Sturgis and you spend 9 days, or you go to Daytona and you spend their full, I don't know what Daytona is, how many days that is. I guess it's Saturday to Saturday.
It's the same as Sturgis.
Is it 9 days?
Mm-hmm.
So, most people don't spend that much time there.
Steven says, hey, we've got the best pancake houses and miniature golfs in homicides in Myrtle Beach. There you go.
And you've got the most dirty money going through the county, going through the city too. You
Through
got
all those t-shirt places.
golf,
That's
miniature golf, and
crazy.
all that. Laundering
Laundry.
service. That's what you have. You have great laundering service there in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of work on the garage, so I'm pretty sore.
Yeah, so we're pretty much. Well, I still got to do a little more work on the bathroom. I really need to get I got some more cross members. I
It's
need to put
framed
up.
in, but it's not. You
But
can see right.
if I could get I was going to put the rest of the drywall up yesterday around the bathroom, so you could actually, if you go in there now, if the trailer was gone, you'd be seeing everybody sitting on the pot.
If you close your eyes, nobody can see you.
That's right.
Mike, use the bathroom. Oh.
And but yeah,
But
well, the doors are all
explains
down
the Mammy's
now.
pancakes. Mammy's.
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah, Mammy's. They're grits. I was thinking of the hush puppies.
You said FedEx and some Mammies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good place. We actually went there like last year. We went 2 or 3
2 or
times.
3 times.
We went a lot more. And somebody took us, and then I think we went
I
with
think we went
Steven.
with Steven
and-
and Richard. They were both there.
And then we went with somebody else too. And then we went once by ourselves. So Miami's a great place to eat.
Mhm.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing when we go out to Rallies is the only thing I'll miss by going the East Coast is restaurants. You know, Myrtle Beach
And
has got
seeing
some
all
really
you
great
guys.
places to eat. Daytona's got some really good places to eat and stuff. Panama City's got some great places to eat and stuff. So that's the thing I kind of miss. I mean, Bikes, Blues and BBQ's also got some great places to eat. We're going to be checking all
They're
them
gonna
out
have a
again.
barbecue contest too, right?
Yep, on that Saturday.
But you know, the only thing they're missing is
We hit our 2 hours.
the blues. Bikes,
That's 10 minutes.
blues. Bikes, blues.
10-minute counting.
They don't have any blues bands in the barbecue.
Well, I don't know, they got some of those other bands. They could be blues.
I don't know.
It's the barbecue though, you gotta set.
There's a barbecue Saturday. There is a Saturday that they have
They're
barbecue.
having a cook-off or
Yeah.
a smoke-out or whatever they're going
Did
to.
you find out how long Bikes, Blues and BBQ's been going on?
No, it never would tell me.
How many years has Bikes, Blues and BBQ been going on?
Oh, they asked about Ocean City, I think.
In Ocean City. Because this is the first time.
Okay.
I've ever really.
So it's been, the very first year was 2000. So it's been going on for 23 years. Now they did have 1 year they didn't do it because we're going to talk about that with the Badgers, that a lot of people say that there's 2 rallies going on. One is called Bikes, Blues and BBQ, and the other one's is called,
Eureka Bike Fest.
Yeah. there's no such thing as Eureka Bike Fest. What that was 1 year, there was a time during the pandemic that Fayetteville said, we're not doing any rally. So they came up and said, hey, we want to let everybody know we're still having our rally in Eureka Springs. So let's call it Eureka Springs Bike Fest.
Eureka Bike Fest.
Yeah, so that's where it came from. But today, there is no listing for any information about that. You beat me up with the chair.
Yep.
And
So we'll get to meet the best Harley Davidson mechanic in the country in Ocean City.
I don't know. Would that beat the one that's up in Pocahontas, up in
Poconos.
Poconos, which is actually one of the OC
OCs.
choppers, head mechanic?
Yeah.
That's where he works now. So will he be a better mechanic than him?
I had vacation in Myrtle Beach house for about 10 years. That's my second home.
Ryder X is telling us that. Is that the guy that screwed your engine up?
I was going to say that, but I wasn't going to.
Well, he said it was, that's who worked, somebody worked on his, no, that's not where it was. I know where his bike was worked on at.
Yeah.
He thought that guy was taking care of him too. He took care of him all right. Right. Like,
He was trying to tell you what was making your bike noise too.
oh yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember what he even said my noise was. Well, the problem was that guy ended up not working on his bike. The guy that he wanted to work on the bike didn't end up doing the work. Somebody else in the shop did it, I think, and that's what part of the problem was.
No, my mechanic, he's a
Culpepper?
Oh, he's in Culpeper,
Oh.
Virginia. I thought he said he was a Culpeper. I'm like, what's a Culpeper?
I think it grows in your garden.
He's
It's
the guy
like
that fixed the
pepper,
screw.
only It's made out of coal.
He's a pepper, she's a pepper. All right, are you done?
I guess we only got 63 on the night. Pretty quiet. But I figured it's a holiday. We were to come on anyway. Wanted to show you the shop. And if you didn't get to see it, we did a walk around.
In the
I did
beginning.
before I started. That was my opening, is to check out the shop, show you the banners that we got, talk a little bit about that, show you what's inside here. I didn't spend a lot of time in here and give you a big giant view, but I kind of showed you the banners and stuff that we had, signs. Still got some other stuff I still got to put up. I didn't really show you the green screen, but we showed you a picture of that before. And so we'll be doing some neat stuff. We're going to be trying out a green screen. We got some new lighting and stuff. So hopefully that'll look like just like we're there.
I don't know.
We'll do that next year when in the fall rallies. We'll show you we're down and look, we're down here at Willie's Tropical Tattoos Chopper Show. Checking us out. Here we are. Hey!
So, will there be a 45th anniversary tattoo
I doubt it.
next year, huh?
She won't get a tattoo.
I
For me, I don't
wanted-
have the patience. for
When
it.
I wanted one when we were younger, he refused. Absolutely not. You will not ever get a tattoo. I said, all right. So I never got one. Now he wants me to get one and I'm over it. I don't want one.
What about him?
I don't have the patience.
He couldn't.
See,
put
I
that-
wanted to have a big giant Harley emblem put on my shoulder, and they said to get it to where you could see the wording, it would be all the way across.
Yeah, it'd be a-
Well, it was like 6 to 8 hours. There's no way.
You think he could
I,
sit still?
I
for
couldn't
6
sit
to
there
8
for an
hours?
hour.
Depends on the artist, because my Celtic cross was the color when we took 4.5.
Well, that's still too long. I couldn't
But
sit
I mean,
there.
granted, I went into shock and almost died afterwards, but.
But, you
Almost
know,
died.
just saying, huh?
But it's great work. I'd have been buried with a great tattoo.
If it weren't for that tattoo, you wouldn't have gotten.
That's
That's
right. How
The
about that?
luckiest thing that ever happened to me.
Yep. How about that? Think almost dying, huh? It took dying to bring you guys together. My grandparents are still buried in the National Cemetery.
No, they're not still buried. They are buried. You
They
said
are.
their grandparents
Oh.
are still buried. I hope they're still buried there.
You never know.
She likes to make words up when she reads stuff.
I'm dyslexic, so I only read certain things and I make up the rest.
Dyslexia, a disease most terrifying.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Unless anybody's got a last call for questions or concerns, or if not, we're going to hit the road. We haven't eaten any dinner yet.
Nope.
Late.
Yep, it's getting
And
there.
we didn't have much for lunch. Lousy old hot dog.
I wasn't sure when they were getting here. I didn't want them to fill up on, so I just gave them a hot dog.
McDonald's cheeseburger here, minus the cheese, also known as a hamburger.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a cheeseburger.
But they don't have it on the menu,
They don't have just a hamburger?
not the double,
Oh,
just
you went-
hamburgers.
Well, you know what they've been doing to me? Because I'll go in and I'll say, I want the cheeseburger, whatever. And I said, but I want it plain. And so they put plain, no. Do you want cheese on that? And I said, well, yeah, it's a cheeseburger, right? Yeah. Well, then they charged me $2 for cheese. I said, no. It comes with cheese, but you said plain.
Quit talking about the quality of people that we have to deal with.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Hope you enjoyed the video and all your great comments, everything that's going on. If you have any questions, email us at contact@bobandtams.com. We can switch information. Thanks for Mike and Patty sitting here, and Patsy. I always say Patsy. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Think about Patreon. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications. And we'll see you on the next video.
And if you came in late, we are saluting
Jimmy
Jimmy
Buffett.
Buffett.
Cheeseburger in the garage.
And
That's
go back to the beginning and you'll get to see the inside of the garage, what we've got done so far.
There you go.
Good night.
See y'all later.
Bye.